Hi, Karen from Quantum Heart Awakening. Today we're going to do a collective check-in just to see where we're at, to take the temperature of things. Okay, Spirit, what is the collective confronting right now? What would really support them on their journey? What do we need to know for the highest and best good of self and the planet right now? Okay, explosion everywhere. Let's see. There are enough hours in the day. I put my best self forward. I am focused on key tasks. I make a positive impact. There's a lot of solar plexus energy in this. I am the source of creativity. And was that it? Let's just look at the unconscious. I recognize synchronicities. It's funny, this theme was coming up a lot where, mainly for the masculine energy, where the universe was trying to reach the masculine, and the masculine energy was so consumed with what's ahead and what they're trying to do and where they're not producing, where they're not creating, trying to, build on their firm foundation, that they were actually missing the synchronicities. They were actually missing all of this delicious communication that was coming from the universe. So that's just what's being pushed into the shadow right now. So, what would support you from, let me say it like this. What would support us in being able to recognize those things? Well, the biggest thing that's coming up is creating some space, right? When we fill in every nook and cranny of our schedule, we don't often leave a spot open for the mystery to gift us with something. Now, that something could be an awareness. It could be a person crossing our path. It could be an opportunity. It can be just a passing moment where we are being called to draw a boundary. Now imagine if you missed that intuitive nudge and you end up crossing that boundary, right? We'll never know why these things come into our lives or why things happen as they do. That's not the point. The point is not to figure out the why. The point is to figure out the how. The how are we going to come into deeper relationship with ourselves in this present moment, right? How are we going to call our spirit back from the past, from the future, and live from the present moment, right? That is where the seat of power lies. Okay. What else do we need to know? Let me look at these. Okay, so some of you, some of us, there's a discernment kink right now. There's a wrench in the system of discernment right now. So we have this, there are enough hours in the day. If you have maybe felt that you don't have enough time in your schedule, if you have felt that there's so much on your plate, you can't possibly take on more, this is telling us that there is enough time in the day, and it's a matter of discernment and personal power. So how can you come into more presence with yourself so that you can more honestly and authentically identify where you might be spending your energy in places that don't feel the most aligned? Are you doing things out of a perception of obligation? Are you, instead of, God, it's interesting. They're showing me this image again of the Tower card in the tarot. So if you've ever seen the Tower card in the tarot deck, it's a tower and it's usually on fire, and there's people falling from this very high tower. Now, usually there's two figures. There's one figure that has been so apprehensive to jump from the building that they wait until last possible minute where the flames are, approaching and shooting out of the windows. So they end up falling backwards, right? They're falling backwards and they cannot see what's ahead of them. Now, the other figure in the Tower card is usually someone who has taken the initiative to jump out of the building, that it is not resonant for this human to stay in a supporting building. So they're going to wield their discernment, wield their free will in a way that is telling them, I'm going to leap out of this building. Yes, it might be crazy, but staying and becoming a human barbecue is not in alignment for me. So I'm going to intentionally jump out of this building. There's something here that's very important for us to try to become more aware and bring your attention to these moments in your life where you're being forced to make a decision. Right? Where can you call your spirit back and call your discernment back to this moment where you actually make a conscious, intentional choice? Not where the choice is made for you, but where you can actually surrender to the information that's being provided and then choose, right? So much of this life, and these patterns that we operate in, this fast-paced, crazy system we have here, so many things are chosen for us, whether they're conscious or unconscious. Many things, what we're going to buy, where we're going to spend our money, where we're going to spend our time. Like, so much of the structure, just by the nature of the infrastructure that we have, it kind of is telling us what to do. It's forcing us down certain pathways, whether we're in consent with them or not. So a big homework for the collective is to become even more present with what is going on in the environment around you, and ask yourself, love yourself enough, know that you're worthy enough to ask yourself this question. Am I in consent with this? Do I consent to this? Now, this could be, do I consent to eating this food? Do I consent to spending my time the way I'm spending it, to going here, to going there? Do I consent to this project at work? Do I consent? It's like there's so many false perceptions that are floating around us. Let's use the work example, because that's a hard one. Like, normally at work, there's a hierarchy built in, right? That's just how we kind of have been raised, that your boss or your supervisor or your manager is above you, quite literally, and what they say goes, or they bring a project to you and then you have to do it. Well, this model is sort of turning that on its head, because it's teaching us that no matter our perception of the environment around us, we still have free will. We still can wield our conscious intention and choice to make these discernments that are either in alignment with us or not. And now use your judgment. I'm not saying, go give your boss the middle finger at all, but I am saying that there are ways to exist in environments or systems that we're plugged into, that ways that we can be a little bit more in consent with. And so often we don't even consider ourselves. We just immediately say yes, or we say, of course, I'll get right on that for you. Or, but maybe you're spread really thin. Maybe you're working on 4 other projects and your boss is like, yeah, here's a 5th. Go for it. You're doing so well at, navigating. Let's throw on more on your plate. So really pause and tune inward if the things you're investing your energy are sustainable in this moment. Okay. We also have, I make a positive impact. I put my best self forward. I am focused on key tasks. I am a source of creativity. Okay, the other message that's flowing through here is that, collective, you no longer have to reach outside of yourself for a solution, for a creative way to approach the circumstances that are in front of you. I'm here to tell you again, and you've heard me say this many times, that you have everything within you to make the best choices for yourself. You have the skills, you have the know-how, you have the discernment. However, most times we're moving so fast and our brain is moving so fast and processing so much information all at the same time that we don't always pause to consider all the factors. We don't always pause to consider how the factors affect self and affect our families and affect, the greater circles that orbit around us, right? I am here to reinforce this idea that you have all of the power right now in this moment to make a positive impact on your life and the lives of the people around you. You do not need another certification, another degree. You do not need to make a certain amount of money. You do not need to dress a certain way or look a certain way or be a certain weight. You don't have to do anything other than exactly what you're doing and who you are and where you are in life to make this positive impact. Okay, let's get some other things. Where do we want to go, Spirit? Wow, that was interesting. It sent me to a twin flame deck. I haven't used this deck in a while. Anything else? What else? Okay. I just saw it. There we go. What does this say? Path of least resistance, choose ease and grace, but it came out in reverse. And then we also have High Priestess, expanding consciousness, also in reverse. Okay. Let me just see what's in the unconscious position. Transformation, battle of the head and heart. I'm going to put that right in the center there. Anything else, Spirit, before okay. We have Merkaba activation, ground, shield, and protect. Put this up here. Let's get a few more. Let's see what's going on. All right. No, I'm not taking all of these. There's, I just want to name this. There's a pool of energy building behind my third eye. It's like a lot of pressure. So I'm curious if some of you are like essentially closing your eyes to a certain situation. We have twin flame in reverse. Everything is possible. Sorry, I'm so I don't know what's moving through me right now. It's a lot of pulling back energy. Okay. There's a narrative here that's showing up in the collective that some of you don't believe that you can actually be your own twin flame. What does that actually mean in 3D reality? That you don't think that your inner masculine or inner feminine or the combination could hold you and support you through your life. So I'm not even there's no energy here that would tell me that this is an external twin flame dynamic. So we're not even going to go there. It's just not here. I wanted to say that out loud so you don't attach to a different narrative, right? Because that would make this whole narrative a whole nother story, but that's not where we are. So there's something here that some of you don't believe that you have the skills to come into this inner union, or more specifically to parent the parts of self that are struggling. There's some of you in the collective that believe that you cannot save yourselves, that you always have to reach outside of self to make a change, to step into that transformation, to achieve what you want. This is your work. This is your work to come in and again, parent the parts of you that are struggling. Now, if you find that that is too overwhelming, just get curious about what is showing up in the present moment. Don't focus on the future, right? When you focus on the future and you put all this pressure on yourself to reach a certain goal or to overcome a certain thing, it can, we can buckle under the weight of that type of pressure. What is showing up in this exact present moment? Are you scared? Are you tired? Are you hungry or thirsty? Do you need quiet? Do you need nature time? Is it time to be creative and do like an arts and crafts? Is it time to pray? Is it time to go hang out with your friends and laugh? Is it time to be totally alone and go to a museum in the middle of the day, or call out sick and just have a personal day? What is it for you that you need in this present moment? Do not worry about the past or the future. What are your needs in this present moment when you can actually learn to listen in the present moment to what your mind, body, and spirit are telling you? This is how we nourish our intuition. And that intuition is what allows us to inform the present moment and take a next aligned step, a step that is resonant with our deepest, deepest truth. It makes sense to me that you're not able to choose the path of least resistance, and you're not able to expand in consciousness right now, and you're struggling to move through this transformation because you don't believe that you have the skills to do it. And oftentimes, check in. I'm not going to tell you what you feel. Check in to see, is there a fear here? Fear is one of those energies that can it could spread like a wildfire, right? Fear that we can't change our circumstances, fear that we don't have the strength to make it through this situation, fear to do something alone. It just snuffs out so much potential and creativity and awe and wonder. So you're being called here again to get your energy back in present time. And it's like, okay, if your scope of life is massive, you're being called to just, make it teeny tiny. You're being called to narrow your focus to just this present moment. And listen, if you are struggling in the present moment, just be with the part of self that's struggling. The worst thing you can do for yourself is to put all this additional pressure or criticism or judgment on this very delicate part of self that is struggling just to get out of bed and brush their teeth, or struggling to make a healthy food choice, or struggling to, speak their truth in the workplace. Whatever this is, you're being called to just ground and honor the truth of the present moment. Okay, where do we want to go next? Some of these, okay. Let's see, is there a question coming up, Spirit? Okay, what's coming up is around self-care. So what would support this collective in taking care of self? And then what does it say? Spiritual knowledge in reverse. Okay, sorry, my nails are disgusting. Some of you, when's the last time you've connected with spiritual ritual or practice? Or what is your spiritual, I was going to say the bumpers. When you go bowling and for kids or whoever doesn't want their ball to go in the gutter, you ask for the bumpers. There's something here when we connect with spirit, those are our bumpers of life, right? When we connect with spiritual wisdom, with knowledge and truth that has been gained outside of self, right? From a teacher or from a holy text, from some other external version. It's the thing that keeps us on track. It's like the rumble strips on the side of the highway. It's like, okay, if you haven't really connected with spirit in quite a while, you may be rumbling. Your life may be rumbling. And so you're being called to connect with spiritual wisdom, whatever that looks like for you. Now, again, I talk a lot of about a lot of different things, but no one can tell you what is spiritual knowledge for you. Only you can discern what that is from the vibration that moves through your body when you experience the thing. For some people, certain music is God. For some people, walking through a certain, hiking trail is God. Other people, it's reading a more traditional sacred text, the Bible, the Kabbalah, the Quran, the whatever, fill in the blank. no one can, I just want to underline this for you. No one can discern what that is for you, but no one also is going to do the work of discernment for you. So if you're like looking for someone to tell you, hey, it's time to take care of yourself. Hey, it's time to lean on this truth. Hey, it's time to make a better choice for yourself. It usually will not come. Yes, some of you might have wonderful loved ones who are checking in on you, but the change and the desire for change must come from inside the house. Okay. Is there anything else, Spirit, about that? Oh, okay. Spirit wants me to talk about. So, one of my spiritual mentors, James Finley, you've heard me talk about him like a million times. He has this great quote, and it usually upsets people when I talk about it. Not upsets people, but we get into deep philosophical talks about it. But I still keep it as a North Star in my toolbox of spiritual truths. James Finley says that, wait, let me get it right. Disconnection from spiritual experience is trauma. That trauma is disconnection from spiritual experience. What does that do to the label of trauma? It widens it, right? That means anytime that we're not in some sort of higher way of relating to the world around us, we are experiencing a dissonance, a trauma. That's not a small word. And he's, like a renowned psychotherapist who worked with addiction and all these other things and abuse and all these. So he has the clinical background, but he was also a monk. And he's also, such a master at living this contemplative way, this way of contemplating the universe and the present moment, really living that transpersonal existence between the realm of spirit and the realm of matter, and trying to find our place, trying to understand the meaning of it all, right? And it's not an easy way to live that way. I live that way. And there's a lot of pain and suffering that comes from, these deep existential, physical, I didn't mean physical, sorry, it's just moved through me. Isn't it interesting? The pool of energy behind my third eye immediately, it's like somebody yanked out the plug out of the drain and all the energy left, but in a good way, because it was building. So clearly this needed to come out in the message. So we are learning how to live in a more peaceful, that's not even the right word. It's tempered. It's really about balance. Can we just come into a tempered relationship with the world around us, despite what is actually filled in the space, right? Whether it's grief, pain, suffering, whatever it is, can we allow these experiences to blow through our houses like a breeze, right? Leave all the windows and doors open and allow these things to just show up when they want and leave when they want, without attaching to these concepts or ideas. Okay, I already felt this. Very interesting. We have Keep Going, this beautiful woman or person with her lantern and holding these high heels down this yellow brick road. I've never really looked at this image. It's pretty weird. Sorry, I need to look at this. Oh, okay. No, it's fine. All right. So we have Keep Going and we have Body Balance. So again, to me, yes, this could be about actually taking care of your physical vessel. When you wake up in the morning, do you have a moment of silence with yourself? Or are you immediately like the alarm goes off and you're running ragged and frantic and chaos? You're being called to take care of your physical vessel. Do you wake up in peace? Do you have enough water when you wake up? Can you have a quiet moment to contemplate the present moment, and also the day, to set an intention for the day? Are you getting enough movement in your day-to-day? Yes, this could absolutely be about balancing the body system. What's coming through right now is a health situation. I I never read about health. I never, even if it comes up, I don't name any sort of like illness or anything like that. I don't think it's my place. Um, However, is there something that you've been avoiding regarding your health? Either taking a test or getting certain results back, or calling the doctors to make an appointment, or your naturopath, or your whoever you go to, Eastern medicine healer, sound healer, any sort of health related situation. So for some of you, you're being called to balance out. So it's about like how much do you love yourself versus the fear of what the potential could be. So you're being called to identify that, but more often, hold on, I'm getting pulled in like 5 directions. Okay. So for me, this is less about the physical body. I don't know why I talked about it so much, but in this reading, this is less about the physical body and more about balancing how much earth and how much matter we house in our physical vessel. So remember, uh, we are a spiritual being having a human experience. What does that actually mean? Well, we're more spirit than matter. We are, when our matter goes away, right? When the body starts to deteriorate and eventually dies off, the soul continues on, right? The energy of what your soul is, your like energetic DNA blueprint continues to exist. And so you're being called to bring this kind of these ideas more into balance. So when again, it's a repeating message of when's the last time you've come into some sort of a spiritual thing. When's the last time you've touched spirit or allowed spirit to touch you? When's the last time you've felt one with the cosmos, one with the universe around you? What would support you in carving out some sacred space to actually contemplate these things? Maybe it's going for, it doesn't have to be a big investment. You can commit to maybe doing a 10-minute walk after your meals or something, or on a lunch break, or just allow a certain amount of time to contemplating, to check in with your soul. Like, are you excited about what you're doing? Are you thrilled about how you're investing your energy and how you're spending your days? And be brave to get the answer to that, because it can be scary, because what happens when we ask the question, we're going to get an answer. And sometimes that answer is going to make us actually take action or need to take action. I know that some of us are too scared to ask the questions because of that exact reason, that if we ask the question, then we're going to be forced to take an action, right? We're going to be forced to look at the places where we do want change and where we might not be so happy or peaceful or balanced. And that's going to require something of us. It's going to require a little bit of work. Okay. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? It just told me to switch. Okay, then. I understand why. Yeah, we have peace in reverse and manifestation. Okay, we're just getting repeating messages now. Anything else, Spirit? Anything else? Maybe not. Maybe this is where we close. So we have manifestation and peace in reverse. It's such an interesting message, collective, because it's like you can pretend to outrun the truth of your circumstances, but they're always going to be there, whether you bring them into your awareness or not. And by prolonging that experience of bringing the truth, bringing all the truth in the room, it's halting your manifestations. There's something blocking this next, rung of the ladder from appearing, or next leg of the journey from manifesting in your life. So it would really behoove you. Yeah. Oh my God, I can't make this up. We have healing in the unconscious position. So I'm just going to invite all of you with love that if there's something that you've been avoiding looking directly in the eye at, it's time. You're now stealing, by prolonging this experience, you are literally stealing from your future. You're stealing from yourself. You're stealing your soul's potential. You're stealing the potential of what your life gets to be, of these gifts, of these higher, less dense energies, this light. You're stealing, the light from the world, from your future self. So yeah, you're being called to take accountability. I'm just gonna open this and do one thing. We have a second card of that, and then one more, Spirit. Oh my God. I mean, I think I gotta leave it there. Another healing. I didn't even know that was in both of those decks, actually. Healing in reverse. It's time. Let's get a Buddha wisdom card and we'll end. Okay, they just shot out. What do we have? Live in joy and love, even among the troubled and those who hate. Offend no one and yet speak the truth. Be clear with and kind with your words, never harsh. This is another card of discernment, of actually understanding that you can choose your frequency in any flavor of chaos that you may find yourself in. If it's a shitstorm around you right now, you can actually choose to plug into a different frequency. You can choose to plug into a frequency of grounding, of trusting that the divine has gifted you with these circumstances for a very specific reason, and you don't need to know why right now. You may never get to know why. Can you live and choose to live in joy and love despite surrendering that part of the needing to know, and call your spirit back to the present moment and make a choice to live in joy and love in the present moment? Beautiful. I'm going to leave it there. I'm sending you all so much love. I could feel the density of this reading. It's swirling in my third eye again. Whew. Yeah, to me, again, that's like, where are you avoiding? That's the thing. When you avoid truth, it literally builds up in your body and wreaks havoc. It's literally like when you're overflowing a balloon. At some point, it's going to pop. Like, that energy needs to go, that volume needs to go somewhere. So it's time. It's time to look at it. All right. Sending you so much love. I will see you in the next one.